Good evening and welcome to the International Game Developers Association Twin Cities Chapter Gamedev meeting. I'm Beth Korth and your host for the evening. This is the March meeting and this is the intro. So after this section, we'll do some plugs and announcements. Please join us on Discord for the chatting. And our presentation for the evening, we only have one this month, is actually a pre-recorded one. Patty from YAHAHA, and David will talk a little bit more about that before we actually play the video for you. And then after the meeting, as usual, we'll be hanging out in the Minneapolis and St. Paul Discord voice channels if you want to come in and say hi. So welcome. Our meetings are open to everyone, and we want it to be a safe and inclusive community. So please let us know if there's anyone who violates that. Report it to one of the board members or something like that in Discord, and we'll take care of it. But basic rule is just be kind to one another. And IGDA TC is run by an all-volunteer board. You can see all of us there. If you're interested in helping to run our events, or if you have any ideas for programs, please reach out to us at our Gmail account, igdatwincities@gmail.com. And also, we haven't really pushed being a board or becoming an IGDA member a lot. But we are starting to pursue a better relationship with the parent org and trying to access some of the benefits that we have for membership numbers. So if you are an IGDA member, please put the Twin Cities chapter as your chapter so that we can get those benefits for our membership numbers. And our regular schedule of events are the second, third, and fourth Wednesday. There is an exception for the VR HCI one this month, but we'll get there in just a second. So this is the Game Dev meeting on the second Wednesday, and we're doing community presentations about the game development industry. And then on the third Wednesday, we do our play test, which is prototype sessions and dev interviews. So if you have a game you want to bring, that's you want to ping Lane on the Discord. And then the fourth Wednesday is the MNVR and HCI meeting, which I think Zach is here to talk about.
So this month we're pushed all the way out to the 31st, which is a Thursday. Kind of an ambitious plan. We're going to return to Puzzle Fox Park, which is some app for the Oculus Quest that we used for our meeting in January. We're going to do a triple header. We're going to have RJ White talking about ViveFlow, the newest headset from HTC, and his experience making a launch app and kind of the current state of that app store. Mark Jensen's going to talk about Vive Focus 3 as a replacement for Oculus Quest for business projects. And Zach Wendt, that'd be me. I'm going to talk about highlights from the VMed 22, the virtual medicine conference. So all types of medical uses for virtual reality.
And while you're still here, Zach, I think you're our first plug.
Coming up is the ESC event, the third one at REM5 VR, which is where we actually had our meeting in person last month. ESC stands for the Extrasensory Collective, and it's a very art-focused, technology-based event. So there's going to be a lot of VR, a lot of AR, really anything kind of focused on usual sensory things. So there's a lot of unique audio and music stuff, and projectors and different ways of doing input with camera tracking and things. If you're interested in that, the URL's right there. Go check it out.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach. And is there anything else? I'm not actually watching the stream, so if anybody has something to plug, you can ping us in Discord real quick. Otherwise, we'll move on to the presentation introduction. I'm not seeing anything. So, David, did you want to introduce the video before we start it?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we had a a little bit of a challenge getting our presenter to the meeting this month because she's in Sweden, and our meetings start at 1:30 a.m., which was immediately a no-go. So I told her we'd do something pre-recorded. Otherwise I'm sure she'd be she would have preferred to have been here with us tonight. It would have been fun. And we had a little bit of difficulty getting the recording done. We had to reschedule a couple of times, but we got it done. But due to the time difference, we ended up recording at 1:30 a.m. here, and so I may have been a little sleep deprived at that point because I had been up at 8 a.m. and was up till almost 3. But we got her done. So that's sort of the context of the production of our video tonight. It should be fun though. It's Patty Toledo from YAHAHA, and I think the rest of the introduction is in the video. Oh yeah, and we recorded it on Zoom, and I didn't realize I'd be on camera the whole time, so forgive me if my fidgeting is distracting.
All right, thanks, David. And I think Mark is going to play that for us. I'm going to quit sharing and mute myself.
Really liked the message of just being open with the community. Well, then I'll just take this opportunity right now to say welcome to our meeting. We're very I think we're pretty excited to have you, everyone. This is Patty with YAHAHA. Patty, I'll let you do further introduction yourself, and then we can take it from there.
Hi, everybody. I have an introduction inside of the slide, so I will get to it. But this has been an adventure just to start to get here. So I'm really happy that we were able to get this. I hope this video goes well. I'm really sorry that I can't be there live. I am a very early bird. I start my day at 5 in the morning, so 1:30 in the morning is right in the middle of my REM sleep. I'm really sorry, but hopefully I can be in the US at some point and meet you guys all in person. So I will share some slides with you. I think everything is in order. Let's put it to play because you don't need to see everything that I'm doing. Come on, you can do it, babe. Oh, God. You have to love that. That's how it goes, right? He really wants to do whatever he wants to do. No. So, of course, come on. You can do it. You're supposed to play from the beginning. Yay, thank you. So see, it's almost like I'm live because all these things happen. So, hi, I'm going to talk to you guys today about community power and how UGC can help indie developers. And it's going to be I talk a lot, but it's going to be super informative. And because I'm not live, I'm hoping that afterwards, if you guys want to add me on Discord or just come after me, I'm happy to talk to everybody. If you need any support, please let me know. And so about me, I'm the Director of Developer Relations at YAHAHA, and I have been working with creative media for 30 years. That's usually where I insert the joke that I know I don't look more than 20, but I have been working for 30 years. It doesn't have the same effect if it's not live and people are laughing, but I have been working with games for 10 years now. And my focus has always been about the community, game business and marketing, but mostly about creative growth. I'm a big fan of fandoms and fandom behavior. And I like seeing players and creators as this big fandom family. And I'm going to explain also what I mean by fandom. I really like this word. So what we're going to be seeing here is really quickly, what is UGC, at least what I am seeing as UGC, why UGC, and then we're going to talk about how you can use that to grow your game, to grow your business, and to increase the connection with the community. I'm going to talk about us right in the end, like just a little bit. I hate doing propaganda. But it's going to be a really active talk. So let's go to it, which is the part that is interesting. What is UGC? What I'm seeing as UGC? What I'm talking as UGC here is anything that is created by the community, usually brand specific, but anything that is created by the community in publishing any channel I'm seeing as UGC. It can be images, it can be music, it can be YouTube videos, a podcast, mods, memes, even original games from using characters from other games. We have been seeing a lot of this lately. You have like rollout stories of game characters, and memes are always the most popular one. But anything that is created by the community, I'm seeing here as UGC. And why is UGC so important and so interesting for people, like especially people like us that are indie developers and want to work with the indie community? Why is it so important? First of all, is because it allows the players to become creators. They become more than just spectators and just people getting a game and playing. They become part of the creation team. They feel really active in their participation. They are influencing the future of the development. And because of that, they have a very strong emotional connection, which is what we all want when we are creating a game. We want our players to feel really deeply connected with the product that you created. Because of all this above, the players have a sense of personal ownership. Like it's more than just I bought this game and I play. I'm really part of the team. And the sense of belonging, not only with the creation team, but also with the overall community, is really important for them to be loyal and participative. So why do all these help attracting growth? Really, really simple. First of all, when you're using UGC, and my voice always does that. when you're using UGC, you're pretty much creating games that last forever. Not only you can use UGC as a way to continue live ops, as it is there written, but also to have games that people are constantly talking about. They are creating new content. They are creating alternative content for that. So instead of the game having this normal cycle of the super high up in the release and then slowly dying down, and then you have to keep buying users or keep doing campaigns to grow that, the community is doing that for you throughout the years. Every time they are trying to revive, they are creating new things and make this game grow forever. The other thing is that it really saves money when it comes to marketing, because you have the community doing through peer connection, word of mouth. One person is actually promoting the game to the other person, and without you having to go and pay for users to do that. You also have a community growth, because unfortunately, that's how it happens. People follow people. If they see that there is a buzz about the game and people are talking about things, they have a bigger interest in seeing what is going on and connecting to that. So once you get this community, doesn't matter how big it is, but you get this loyal community, it will slowly grow and it slowly drive other people to join it because of the way it's organized. The same thing with social engagement. People have a bigger tendency of connecting with other people to play than connecting to a game individually. What does it mean? If I'm playing a game and I tell my friend that I'm playing this game and I'm actually doing UGC about it and I'm creating all these funny memes, my friend is more inclined to actually do the same and join and be part of this conversation. You start creating virality, you start creating buzz about things, and you make the players be more than just players. They become these super loyal BFFs of the game. I love this, they're using the BFF because it's really I find it funny. It's a funny word, but it's exactly that. Is they become more than just a part of the community. They are really loyal to what you're doing. You got growth. Imagine you did this, you used UGC, you used your community, the community really grew. Then what can it help further? It helps further in integration. Growth is not the only thing. When you are integrating your players into in the community using UGC, the players become creators. They become more than just, like I said, more than just inactive, passive participants of the game. They become part of this creation team. And they are a secondary part of your development team. They have ideas on how to improve the design. They have ideas on how to create new levels. They have ideas on how to create side stories for the characters, depending on what kind of game you're doing. And they can be a really loud voice when it comes to the community. Of course, bear in mind that this works in both ways. Community can make or break your game. So really hear the community, really make them feel that they are being heard, they are being respected, and they are being taken into consideration. So if you do that, your community becomes a family. They become a real part of the development team. The part that is super interesting is that this goes beyond just one game. Once you develop this community and you have this full integration with the community, it doesn't matter what you create next, the community will be there with you. They are really about who is developing, not only the final product of things. And like I said, we all want a really strong emotional engagement. We want our players, we want our community to be deeply connected with what we're doing. They are partners. They are like really part of what you are doing. I know I repeat things a lot, but you try to imagine these as facets of a diamond. They are the same. They look like the same facets, but you're looking at it through a different hourglass. Then they are integrated, the community is grown. How do you increase this connection with them? How do you make it even more important, even more solidified? First of all, communication is key. I think that's the biggest difficulty that game developers have. A lot of people are very, very scared of sharing things. They are very scared of losing their IP, of having things stolen, of sharing details of their development. Don't be afraid. People like this idea that people will steal your idea and run with it. It's not really realistic. People can steal your idea even after the game is published. It doesn't really matter. And people can be more successful with your idea even if you did it first. So don't worry about that. Be very communicative, be very open, share things with your community, create this sense of complicity. You're accomplices in that. You're in it together. Be very clear and be very kind Remember, not everybody has your level of technical knowledge. Not everybody has your level of experience when creating games. The community, they are interested in, they want to create things with you. They want to be part of this UGC community, but they are also learning. So be very kind when you're doing things. The other thing is localize yourself. What does that mean? It means what is very clear for an American or an English speaker might not be necessarily super clear to someone from another culture or who speaks another language, who has a different background. Try to put yourself in your player's shoes. Try to put yourself in the community shoes. Try to make yourself very reachable when it comes to the community. And remember, the same way that the client is always right, the community is king. Like I said, community can make you or break you, and you want to have the respect and the kindness to the community that you would like to receive from them. Always give them everything that you expect to receive from them. Don't only take from the community, give it back as much as possible. Again, create that emotional loyalty. If the community feels that you are honest and open and really there for them, they're going to be there for you as well. Don't bullshit your community. Be very careful when it comes to marketing, because people have a tendency of using this really marketing connection. It's like, yay, smoke and mirrors. Don't use smoke and mirrors. Be very direct with your community. They are not stupid. They know what they're doing. And if you try to bullshit them with marketing talk or like not telling them the whole picture, they will figure out. And this trust is really, really hard to turn around afterwards. And if you do all that, then the community is your army. They will defend you. They will defend you when your server is down. They will defend you when there are bugs in the game. They will defend you because they will understand what you have been going through and how hard you have been working to build all this. So keep this in mind. One good example of that is how League of Legends were in the beginning. When when Riot released the game, there were a ton of bugs. There were a ton of times that the servers would fall. Nobody would be able to play. They didn't expect to be so successful so fast, and they were not prepared for that. But they kept talking to the community. They kept communicating with the community, and they really created this community that was extremely understanding and kind with them. And that's of course, they lost some people. There's nothing you can do about it. You will lose some, but the people that stayed with them and helped grow the community further. This is one of the images from our platform, and we're going to talk about how to harness the power of the community. So how do you do that? Embrace them. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of sharing. Don't be afraid of negative feedback. Don't be afraid of them being unkind to you. Like if someone says anything super bad about your game, instead of fighting them, be honest and say, yes, thank you very much. I know there are bugs. How would you think, like, how would you suggest the improvement? Is there anything you would like to do it further? Like, is there any way you would like me to go? Would you prefer A or B? Test things with them. They will calm on you, and they will connect with you. Again, don't be overprotective. Your idea is just as good as what you can deliver. Ideas are really cheap. If you think that you have the best idea ever, great. So start developing and start sharing with them. My best advice is always share early. Bring the community in super, super early. First prototype, bring the community in. if you do it after the game is ready, it's already too late. You already lost a lot of time. And if they don't like it, what you're going to do, right? So bring them really early. Don't be overprotective about your ideas. Show your love to them. Don't buy it. It's really, really easy to go and do user acquisition, put money, buy the players. And if you have the money, it's easy to do. But that's not the same thing that I'm talking here. What I'm talking here is about the organic growth, is about the community little by little. It's not about having 1 million players playing at the same time. It's having 100, 200 super loyal people that will create thousands and thousands and thousands of content just because they love what you're doing. Those people will stay with you forever. And again, communicate, know that don't bullshit the community. They know what they are doing. They know better than you think. They have been playing games all their lives at this point. They know what they want and they know things. So don't talk down on them. Don't be patronizing. Be talk to them one-on-one like you are in the same level. There was a time where players were here and developers were there. This is done. You are in the same level as them. Talk to them. Choose your battles. You will never please everybody. It's virtually impossible to please everybody. So if it's something that there is nothing you can do and there is no way you can improve, it's all right. You're human. It's okay to let them know. Don't fight one-on-one with everybody. And also don't be stubborn. That's a really important advice as well. Don't be stubborn. You might be wrong. Don't always think that you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. So just be open on that. And again, be clear. Always. So, okay. So just I know this is a lot of text and I'm really sorry. I really need to start cutting down text on this slide. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing. So what we do is we're creating a no-code UGC entertainment platform for that is just focused on giving for free multiplayer 3D experiences for people to create worlds, to create games, to create prototypes, to test ideas on the community, to allow the community to create their own games with different assets. Like there is a multitude of uses that we are thinking, and I'm pretty sure both the developers and the players, they will think another 100,000 ways of using our platform. But the whole idea is that it's extremely social, it's free, and it's all in 3D and multiplayer, and it's going to be really fun. We're going to start our alpha in the end of this month, and I would like to invite you guys to come and join our community if you want to test it first. And you also can get your unique ID right away, like before everybody else, and be the like first. We call it the Founders Club because you're the first ones to come in. And your feedback is super important to us, so you can also come and help us create this platform and this tool. And usually there is a video here. I will not click on this, but David will play you the video. I don't know if you guys can see, but if you want to join the Discord, there is that link here, but there is also a link on Eventbrite. David can also share a link with you. The community is not only, our community is not only for YAHAHA. So also if you have a game that you need to test, and you can use our community to get testers for your game. If you want to share assets that you're creating, if you're an artist and you created art and you want to share, you are welcome to share. It's a community Discord. We want it to be a place for people to share their creations, independent of in which platform they are creating. It doesn't matter if it is inside our platform or Unity or Unreal. By the way, our platform is based in Unity. So if you're a Unity developer, it's fairly easy to use for you. If you're in Unreal, you're gonna learn it really fast. We want to make it as easy as possible, but then we want you to use the Discord for anything you want to do. And if you want to connect with me by email, this is my email. But also David is free to share my Discord with people if they want to connect with me, or you can also talk to me on Discord, on our Discord. I am also on this Discord, so you can also poke me here. I'm happy to talk to all of you. Thank you.
Great. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. We're hearing the uproarious applause at this moment. So
I will imagine the audience like 100,000
yeah, you'll just have to imagine it
screaming
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was fun. So the first thing that I noticed was right out of the gate, there was, you defined UGC a lot more broadly than I think I was defining it, which is, I was thinking more of the things that are happening inside of your, inside of a UGC platform, like Roblox or whatever. But you defined it more as anything that the users are creating, like around your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, yeah, I guess I don't. I was just curious if you had anything more to say about that. How do you encourage people to, to create things outside of your game? Like what steps could you take, I guess?
It has different ones. Like the advantage of having platform like ours is because you give a structured environment where people can create things, and then they can do around that. So for example, one thing people could do, using our platform as an example, but I will give other examples as well, is if you created a game and you have great 3D assets, you can actually put the assets on the platform and encourage your players that already bought your game to actually go to the platform and create other experiences with it. Or if they didn't buy your game, they can buy the assets and then create experience. So you have two monetization models. That would be one way. But you can also tell people, you can make competitions, because usually when you have a game, you have a social media around that game. You have a Twitter channel, you have a Facebook group, you have a web page, you have like different things that you're using to share the trailers, to promote your game and bring people to play. One thing that you can easily do, for example, is create competitions like around your character. Depends a lot on what kind of game you're doing, but I'm creating differently. Imagine that your game has a really clear character. You can actually ask people to create variations of that. You can allow people to create assets for your game. A lot of games do that they say, if you can create clothes for the character, or you can create new guns for this kind, we're going to implement in the game and you get a bonus out of it. The biggest difficulty of doing social media is the easy part, and it's a good marketing. And as long as you are connecting it with the game and you are giving them incentives to do so, like you're giving them perks inside of the game or something, it keeps the connection with the community. The part that is more difficult to do outside of another platform is if you want to do assets for a game, because then it comes on a point of, if you are monetizing those assets, how do you pay the players? Like, how does the ownership work there? Like, there is a lot of discussion around that if you create a gun from a game and suddenly I'm selling this gun and making money out of it, how is it fair with you that you just created? That's why, for example, platforms like us or Roblox, or that there are a ton others, they solve this ownership problem slightly better, because it allows the players to either monetize it themselves as well, or to do things in a way that it's legal with you. But there are, like, for people that doesn't want to use UGC for modding, or they don't want the players to create levels, they can easily create things for social media. The key is just to connect it with something that makes sense in the game. Don't turn to your players and just say, "Oh, create a trailer for my game," and then you're just using free workforce, and this is not going to work well with the community. They're going to get really mad at you. But if you do something like, if you guys create a funny video of what you guys think that a level should be, and we choose the best video, and that video, we're going to create a level, and that level is going to have the name of the player. So that's all about you, for example. Or if you say, create the funniest picture of this character, and the funniest picture we're going to reproduce in the game, and it's going to be the name of the, like, as long as it's not something related directly with money, but it's related with making it fun and making it interesting to the audience, they are going to be with you, and they are going to like that quite a lot.
Great.
I hope I answered.
Yeah, no, that was exactly what I was hoping to unwrap a little bit. Let's see if I had anything else interesting written down. I just really liked the message of just being open with the community. I think people can't get enough of that message. What I was curious though is I was thinking about talking about listening to your community. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about if it can be a little scary to give up some of your control of your creative vision to your community.
It is very scary, especially because if you're creating your first game and you don't have much experience in this area, you always think that someone that is more experienced, better than you, will come and run with it, and then your idea will be gone, or that you were going to tell it to the community and they're going to tell you that you're stupid and your idea is stupid, and why the heck are you doing that? The things to keep in mind is, let's imagine the first case, that you're afraid that people will run with it, steal and run with it. The first thing that I usually say is, even if someone steals your idea and runs with it, what they are going to create is not what you would create. Because what makes a product yours, it's not the idea you had behind it, is how you developed it, is how you got to the final product. Game developers know this better than anyone, because the original idea that you had and how the game ends in the end usually changes throughout the process of creating the game. So if another team is you can give the same idea to two teams and they will create different games. That's the first point. The second point that is the community would be negative with you is, yes, there is a possibility. And there are two scenarios that you should keep in mind. Maybe your idea is really not good yet. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't develop it. That means that maybe you should talk to your community and see why they think it's not good and how can you make it better. Because in the end, you're creating something for them. And if they don't like it, you're not going to have players, right? But you also have to keep in mind that it might be something else. Maybe that's not the community that you should be tackling. Maybe the target is wrong. Maybe you have to ask other people to see, did I create a game? And do I have an idea that is so niche that maybe I'm talking to the wrong niche and I need to find the right community? But let's imagine that really you had an idea and the idea is no good. That's your chance of actually refining it and making it better before you spend time and money and energy doing that. If it is the case that just maybe they didn't understand or the community is wrong, you're going to end up using that to refine your community and to find who are the people that are really interested in the kind of game that you want to do and are going to carry you throughout the system. What I mean by all that is every negative has a bright side. It just, if you focus on negative feedback as only they don't like it and that's it, you won't learn anything. But if you focus on the negatives as learning processes for you to develop the best that you can in the end, then it's a positive. It's the same of failure. Failure is just a failure if you decide to not do anything afterwards. Otherwise, failure is a learning process. You fail, you learn why you failed, and then you get better, and the next time you're going to do better, and it's going to be fine. Right? Like the things, just wanted to comment something like there is some things that you will, as if you're a first-time developer, you're going to hear that over and over and over and over, which is people would tell you, first games always fail. No matter what it is, first games always fail. There is a certain truth to that, but it all depends on how you see it. Yes, first games are difficult to be successful. But if you, instead of actually taking 5 years developing a game and then bring in the community, if you test prototypes, test little ideas with the community from the beginning, you have a bigger chance of actually being successful, even if that is the first game that you are creating to the end. So that's the difference. Is one thing is if you create the whole game and then try something. The other is if you're trying prototypes. I love the example, for example, from Rovio, that created 50 games before they created Angry Birds. Did they create 50 games? No, they created 50 prototypes. They did really simple prototypes and kept testing with the community. Do you know this story? It's actually Rovio, what they did is they had a box of really old cell phones. So during the week, they would create prototypes and then put it on the phone and ask their friends to come and pick up the phones and play throughout the weekend and then bring it back. And if they giving the feedback. Some games, people would be an hour afterward, they would bring it back. That was shit they didn't like. So they kept doing this with the phones, with the games, seeing how people would react to a point that they did Angry Birds. And they realized that Angry Birds was a good game because people picked up the phone on Friday and nobody brought the phone back. People kept playing throughout the week and people wouldn't give the damn phones back. So then they realized, yeah, okay, we got a game that people want to play. And this was a really simple prototype. They just created the slingshot idea. And that's the thing, is like, was their first game? Yeah, no, because it was the 51st. But the way they did it is that instead of spending all their money and all their resources in creating a full mobile game and then seeing how it goes in the market and doing the second. They just did small prototypes. You can do the same thing with PC games. Create a level. You don't need the fancy graphics. You don't need, create a level and see if people find it funny to play. Like, test it with your friends. Create a little group of people that will always test. This is your first community, and then you go throughout the things. Again, I went to the tangent. Sorry for that.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, what I just have to bring it back to the reason that we got introduced in the first place, which is one of the best places to prototype things is in what?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I did the Global Game Jam this year with Dot Big Bang, which is, you know, pointed at a lot of the same kinds of problems that YAHAHA is. And that was a lot of fun. But I mean, it's clearly a great way to get ideas out there. And, you know, if you're trying to attract people to an idea or anything, yeah, so I think that would be kind of interesting to try to do a similar approach, just prototyping things and just going over and over and just waiting to see what sticks.
Yeah, and the advantage of platforms like ours, and like I said, there are other platforms like that. I know people find it fun, but we think the more platforms out there, the best it is, because it means there is a demand. Right? Like, people are creating this kind of platforms because there is a necessity, there is a need out there for that. But the advantage that you have is that, for example, if you are a programmer, you can code. So you don't need a platform like ours, but you're not an artist. So you might have difficulty, like, what do you do with the assets? You have to buy the assets. You have to put, like, the whole thing starts getting more complicated than it is. While when you are in this kind of platform, the assets are there. There are tons of assets for free. You can just drag and drop, try the idea and see how it goes. If you're a designer or an artist and you don't know how to code, it's even harder to do a prototype if you know zero code, like me. I had known nothing of code. It's a lot easier when you have this kind of platform that you can do things without having to do any coding. But it also has another thing that you can, that with the prototype you cannot test, but in this kind of UGC platform you can. There are several. One of them is, yes, it's really easy to do the prototype and test, but you can also see how the players, not only they will play your prototype, but will they start creating variations of that? Like, how they will interact with that. And you have the whole social part of it as well. You can immediately connect with them and talk to them, like in a real live testing phase. Because the difficulty, for example, that prototypes have when you just put it out there to test is you have 100 people testing. You might get feedback from 5, 10. It's not like 100 people will come and swarm you with feedback, unless you have a thing like, oh, fill this form and you get this extra. But usually most people, they will play, but they will not necessarily be very vocal about what they're doing. But once you're seeing them playing in real life and you see the comments, people, when they're playing, they talk, they feel more talkative about things. It gives you not only the feedback, the normal technical feedback, it gives you a feeling of how are they reacting to it? Like, are they frustrated? Are they happy? Do they find something difficult, or do they think it's too easy? Like, you can really have the real reaction of things. And that's a really valuable thing for developers. Because it's the hardest thing to get, is to really capture how the users are doing. Plus, if they really love it, they will talk about it, they will share it, goes the whole marketing as well. Like, they will create other things, and they will do. The hope that we have with the platform is not only developers can actually create the prototype and then go develop their games in any platform they want, and in Steam and Google Play and everything, and use us as a way to prototype. But we also hope that there will be people that maybe never thought that they could be developers themselves, and will start creating because it's easier for them to create, and they will create companies, and they will create full games inside of the platform without needing to go anywhere, and just grow as a business inside of the platform as well. Because not everybody has the advantage now of being able to develop a game and publish and do the whole chance. Plus, they can have proof of concept inside of the platform. We're hoping when we have all the players there, if you're developing a prototype or a simple game, and suddenly you have 100,000 people playing, you have a proof of concept. It's easier for you to go talk to a publisher or go talk to an investor and say, here, there is something there. And I know there are investors also interested in investing in people that are creating things inside of the UGC, not in the platform, not giving us money, but giving the creators money, because they can see the process of community building inside of UGC.
All right. Well, I think on behalf of IGDA TC Twin Cities, thank you very much for presenting. This was a huge pleasure. I had a lot of fun listening. So, and I think it'll be well received. So,
thank you very much. And guys, like I said, if any of you want to chat, and if you think all I'm talking is bullshit, I'm ready to go and fight. I love a good discussion, and also, like, if you want to add things, even if you have a project and you need some feedback, like I said, not only you can use our Discord, you can also ask me. I'm happy to give support as much as possible. I love helping people. That's why I am where I am. I really love helping people.
Yeah, and and Patty said to me that their Discord is very open, and that you can talk about just about any game related thing you want to. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But no, it's true. I was there. It's totally true.
And we really love, we really love when people share, like when there was the Global Game Jam, people were sharing the games that they did. If they have things that the people wanted to test, it's super fun for us. Like, we really want that. So like I said, and we have a few thousands of people, so it's a good group of people to already get feedback for games and just distill the ideas. Like, everybody there is in the same boat. Everybody wants to create cool stuff. Like, nobody is gonna be nasty to anybody. Like, you have seen that like, people are super kind and supportive to each other.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go to bed.
I like guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys later.
All right, bye now.
Sleep well.
And welcome back. So that was a really interesting presentation. I don't know, David, did you want to hop in and say anything else about it now that you've rewatched yourself on stream?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was I actually really liked that. I thought there was so much that was really useful for both the seasoned veterans, but I felt like especially there was a ton of stuff she was saying that was just really valuable for people starting out too.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it. So have you had a chance to play around on YAHAHA yet?
Not yet.
I know you had said you signed up, right?
The whitelisting is going to happen. I think at the end of March, maybe.
Okay.
So it's coming, but it's not here yet.
When it does get here,
as best as I could to get myself in, but it didn't work.
Oh, shouldn't sneak in, huh? I was gonna say I can't wait to see what you have to say about it because I know, like you mentioned, we did the Dot Big Bang. I'm kind of interested how they compare and if it's something I should pursue also.
Yeah, it's the the differentiator with YAHAHA is the no code deal. That's interesting. It'll be I'm always skeptical as a coder. I'm always skeptical of anything that brands itself as no code because I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I'm skeptical of anything that's trying to put me out of work. They're just trying to drive me out.
Well, as a non-programmer, I'm always skeptical of things that tell me it's a no-code thing because there's always still, oh, but you have to code this part, or like
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not really no code. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because Not
I
Big
feel you
Bang
on
is
that.
kind of no code, but of course, you don't have to peel much off the surface before you realize that there's a whole world of code underneath it.
Right. So do you, let's see, should we pop her Discord and stuff in the YouTube chat? Do you have the window open
Oh
that we
yeah, I
can
was gonna
give
paste.
the viewers
I
that?
just found the link for that. I'm gonna put that into chat. I'll probably also drop a comment in there somewhere. Or can we?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know if I can comment that. Well, anyway, it's in the chat for now.
Okay, yep. So that way, if anybody wants to kind of, is that where they would find out more about what she had to present as well as getting whitelisted on YAHAHA?
Yeah, I think all the important communications are going through Discord right now.
Awesome. All right. Well, so we don't have a question and answer section because obviously our speaker's not here tonight. But if anybody has questions for David, we can check the
Uh-oh.
stream. I'm going to let it catch up.
So what were the standout moments for you, Beth?
Oh, you know, I always like when other presenters are, you mentioned you were like, sorry for the fidgeting, but it makes me feel normal and better when I see other people. And when she screamed at the beginning of when the eye showed up and it was like in the middle of her presentation, that was good. That made me feel like, oh yes, this is what happens even in pre-recorded ones. So, but no, I think what I really liked about hearing the conversation was she talked about like being authentic with your audience basically, and that was one of the things that like when we released Verdant Skies, I had tried really hard to like reach out to like there were streamers who had like 5 followers, and like Andy was like, really, Beth, that I don't know if that's a good investment of your time, and I was like, well, yeah, they're a streamer, they might get big someday, and if we do like they like our game, like it was the people who were streaming our game, I would just reach out and be like, hey, how's it going? I see that you're playing my game. That's awesome. You want a asset in the game? We gave them like the option to do codes to unlock things in the game so that they could have like a custom item for their community. And that's the kind of like stuff that she was talking about that kind of like resonated with me. The building like strong relationships with a smaller group of people that might not be like what would normally like sound like a good idea. But I think that those people, like if you were to analyze our buy rates, like I think those people in their communities had a higher percentage of like actual purchases or engagement with our game than like just the random spams that we could do.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's nice to have someone like present about it though and like mention some things that like I might not have thought of. So I'm gonna watch this one again, definitely. It's nice that it's up on our YouTube now. So,
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, David?
Oh, she kept dropping these little nuggets of wisdom that I thought were just kind of perfect. I can't remember how she phrased it exactly, but this environment where the developers go into their little closed off area and they make a game and then they come out and they're like, here it is. Like, here's the game. We're selling it now. And she said, this is done. Done.
Yeah.
It's done. We're done with that. It's not happening anymore.
No.
Yeah, and there's a few
And I
others
like
that I think are
that
really good.
where she said you can't lock yourself away and save your idea because someone will do it better or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if I had a dime for everybody who doesn't want to talk about it because, you know, it's not done yet.
Yeah, it's a total noob trap. It's a
is.
very common one. I think we were all afflicted by it at some time or another.
Oh yeah. I say it because I remember being there. So definitely.
Yeah, and I liked calling, you know, the super fans your BFFs, your community BFFs. I really liked that one.
Yep. Yeah, I do think that having content that's not necessarily directly in your game. Like one of my favorite things was like the Twitter drawings of our characters. Like that'll live forever, right? Like that's cool.
Oh yeah.
That your game will live forever in different contexts and stuff like that. All right, I didn't see any questions pop up.
Nope, no questions.
Mark, did you have any questions for David or any comments that you wanted to share?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, David is the MVP of this month's meeting because we wouldn't have had a meeting without him because everybody that had shown interest in doing this month decided last week that they weren't interested anymore, and then it was too soon for anybody else to step in. So thank you very much, sir, for saving the day.
It cannot be overstated how tired I was during that recording.
It doesn't show.
But
Patty, great.
Yeah, but Patty made it real easy when she just absolutely smashed all my questions, you know, completely. It was great.
Yeah, she seems super awesome.
Yeah, and I kind of detected what sort of question I thought she'd be good at answering, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, so I think since there's no further questions that we should just move on to our social hours. So thanks everybody for tuning in and have a great month.